And we're on. Hi, welcome to Star More Boss. Welcome to our virtual micro tasting episodes. I'm Jeff Boss here in the Cherville Road store, and our little virtual micro tastings, an amazing opportunity to come and explore some new releases, some interesting brands, stuff that's great and new to the market from the comfort of your own home. So sit back, relax. We've got some amazing rums for you this evening. And for this episode, we're joined by Ben over here from Copalli Rum. We've got 3 of their fantastic releases, and Copalli is an amazing organic single estate craft rum which has been created in Belize. So a product that you probably haven't heard of just yet, but we're super hyped, super excited about this fantastic rum. And we're going to do a little whistle stop tour and show you some of the great highlights, show you some information, tell you about it, a little bit of production, and we'll just pop in. So really pleased, very excited to have on the stream this evening Ben from Copalli. Hi, how you doing, Ben?
I'm very good. Thanks for having me, Jeff. Really appreciate it. Always enjoy working with you guys.
Thanks for coming.
Pleasure as always. So I work for a distributor called Indie Brands. We're lucky enough to distribute I believe some of the best tequila, some of the best whiskey that money can buy. And Copalli is up there with some of the best rums I've tried. So I'm very excited to talk you through it and sample it with you. Learn a few things myself along the way. Who knows?
Fantastic. So what have you got in store for us tonight, Ben?
Right, so I'll get this presentation up. We are almost there.
Fantastic.
Right. So we have Copalli Rum. I don't know if you can see my screen. It's this bottle. It's from the Copalli Distillery, it's on I believe a 12,000 estate, a 12,000 acre estate, most of which is used for conservation. 3,000 acres of which is the Copalli farm, which is situated adjacent to the distillery. So before we move on, I think it's probably necessary to touch down, for those that might not know, on agricole rum. Although Copalli doesn't quite qualify as an agricole rum. I don't believe it's not from a French-speaking country. So an agricole rum is essentially the biggest difference from normal rum is it's not distilled from molasses, it's distilled from sugarcane juice. And that's the main difference, really. Agricole is French for agricultural, and it's representative of the very localized terroir involved in distilling sugarcane juice. Okay.
And would you say that there is big flavour differences between agricole and agricole style rums like Copalli and molasses based ones as well?
Massively. So with molasses, you're going to get hit with quite a lot of vanilla. You might get some treacle on there, a bit more caramelly and toasty maybe. But with sugarcane juice, because it's fresh and it's not the byproduct of making sugar, it's going to be a lot more grassy and vegetal and earthy. And in Copalli's case, maybe there's a few different flavor profiles, but we'll get to that, I'm sure. But they're just the key differences I thought would be necessary to point out.
Fantastic. So fresh, pure sugarcane juice. And does that have to be harvested or handled in any different way from molasses?
Well, with ours, a lot of large scale rum distilleries, they kind of burn the sugarcane fields to harvest. But what we do a bit differently is we carefully hand cut it, because this means we can regenerate the sugarcane. It's very carefully hand cut, and then it's actually we begin fermenting it. We crush it and begin fermenting it within 2 hours, because sugarcane. Wow. It spoils very quickly. If you like, within a couple of hours of cutting it, it's going to start kind of fermenting on its own. So it's necessary to get that going as quickly as possible, just to preserve those flavors.
Oh, fantastic! So super fresh and cut and then squeeze and using just that pure cane juice as the base of that rum. So fresher sort of style. Fantastic.
That's the
one, and all organic as well.
All organic. So Copalli. Before I continue as well, Copalli is from the Belizean rainforest. It's from Southern Belize as well. And for those who don't know where that is, just before we move on, it's just on the Caribbean, on the coast, just south of Mexico, just north of Guatemala, kind of sandwiched between the two. It's a very tiny it's mostly rainforest, very tiny kind of jungle nation, if you will.
Fantastic.
Okay, as well as that, so the farm, 3,000 acres in the rainforest, as we've just touched on, or completely organic farm. It's the first certified organic farm in Belize. The sugarcane we use is heirloom, non-GMO, completely organic. So I'm going to drill that home. Sustainability kind of is their jam.
Excellent. It looks like can see the picture up here on the screen of like the farm. It looks such a beautiful, lush, verdant green kind of sort of place as well. Like you say, nestled in the rainforest. Yeah, absolutely stunning place to go live and make rum by the looks of it.
Yeah, that's the one. When we do training sessions with the global ambassador quite a bit. He's called Waluko, and he's a really, really nice guy. But I'm always very jealous because he delivers his tastings just kind of like sat like this, laid back in the jungle, like this, just with the rainforest in the background. And I'm just like, man, my job's cool. I mean, I get to drink rum on a Monday night and call it work. But Waluko, that's a whole nother level of just doing it out of the rainforest. Really wicked. Yeah, so we use fresh pressed sugarcane juice, as mentioned before, not commercial molasses, within 2 hours of cutting, pressed within 2 hours of cutting. Distilling wise, so we use we pot still, and we distill twice, just to rectify the flavor a little bit, but we want to retain as much of that flavor as possible. And then we also use a column as well, and then we blend the two distillates. So you're going to get like some cleanliness from the column, and then from the pot, it's going to retain all of those wonderful kind of earthy, grassy flavors that we associate with an agricole style rum.
So bigger, richer elements from that pot still, heavier elements from there, and then, like you say, lighter, fresher bits, and the combination of those two distillates together, making that balance between those on the rum. Fantastic.
Absolutely. And then we blend it down with pure rainforest canopy water. So just water from the canopy in the jungle. That's it. Other than that, we do add a little bit of yeast, but because it's fermented with an open top, so some of that natural bacteria in the surrounding area is going to get in as well. And just add to that funkiness. But we do use it's a yeast that they won't tell me. It's top secret. So I'll just leave them to it. I trust it. It's a delicious tasting product. But yeah, pure rainforest canopy water. The methods we use, we tend to get take a lower yield from it. So the bottom line isn't the main kind of objective with it. What we want is just the ultimate tasting sugarcane juice rum.
So yeah, probably a style that they might have, if you're the occasional rum drinker, probably you're used to those kind of like sweeter, richer, more syrupy, sugary sort of styles. So perhaps like a new sort of style, a new kind of flavor profile that you might not have encountered before.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a first for a lot of people. I think it's a great starting point as well if you're not used to those flavor profiles. I think maybe if you've never had an agricole rum, if you've never had a sugarcane juice rum, think cachaça maybe if you've had that before. If you've had a caipirinha, and it's a bit like a daiquiri, but there's just something different to it. Well, the agricole aspect of it is that something different. It's that vegetal taste. Although cachaça tends to be a little bit more aggressive in flavour, equally as good. I'm not going to lie. I absolutely love cachaça, but Copalli definitely has like not a level of sophistication. I don't really like using that word, but it's got a really nice like refined flavour to it. It's very accessible and it is just delicious.
Fantastic. Well, shall we access it? What's the first one that we're going to sample this evening?
Glad you asked. So Copalli. So it's this one. Can you see my mouse? It's this one on the left.
Yeah.
So the Capali White Rum. It's rested in stainless steel, double pot distilled twice in the pot, once in the column.
Yep.
And as I say, pure sugarcane juice. Let's have a little taste. 42% ABV as well, but to me, in my opinion, maybe I'm just too used to being a spirit salesman, but in my opinion, it doesn't taste 42%.
No, I mean it's and instantly when you nose this, it's so clean and super fresh and
Mm-hmm.
really lovely. I mean, now that I've been told that it's been made in the rainforest, and we've seen those pictures of that amazing place where it's made and distilled, that incredible verdant green like rainforest. I almost, smelling it, I'm almost getting a touch of being in the forest. That slight vegetal, that slight green, kind of luscious
Yeah.
sort of style in there. It smells absolutely incredible. It smells so fresh and so alive as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And to add to the complexity, somewhere maybe it's from the pot still aspect of it, but somewhere underneath there, you might pick up a tiny bit of vanilla, maybe even a little bit of coffee, like those sort of flavors, which I wouldn't expect from this style of rum. But
Mm.
you do get that complexity in there. And then on the palate, for me, it's very fruit forward. Like the grassy, earthy flavor still kind of carries through a little bit, but it's very fruit forward. You could be forgiven for picking up, strawberry or some citrus on there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's super complex.
Mm.
And I think that some people do get a bit scared about white spirits, but I think this kind of like shows you that, this particular rum can have huge amounts of complexity and there are loads and loads of different flavors and levels on there. It's quite sort of fresh and quite drying on the palate as well. And you get like a little, like you say, little lime, citrusy sort of style of fruit, a little bit of coffee, a little bit of nutty element in there as well. That kind of earthy kind of element that comes through. You keep playing around and keep finding different flavors that are actually in this rum all the time. It's such a delicious rum. And then, yeah, again, for me, really get that kind of rainforesty kind of. I
Yeah.
feel like I should be in the jungle somewhere, just sipping on this. And what kind of serves, Ben? What would I'm enjoying this neat as it is, but what kind of serves would you recommend making this with this rum?
Daiquiri, 100%. It's such an
Mhm.
easy cocktail. Not a strawberry daiquiri, none of that. Just a really simple daiquiri, lime juice. If you're at home, then you don't have to cook down your own sugar syrup. Just do a little bit of caster sugar or something like that. That's absolutely fine. Adjust it to however sweet you'd like it. Really, I just squeeze a whole lime.
Yep.
Maybe maybe 1 teaspoon of caster sugar. Or if two, if you've got a bit more of a sweet tooth, and then 2 measures of rum. If it's a Friday night, 3 measures of rum.
Yes.
Shake it down, and it's just that really, it's the simplicity of the cocktail. The more simple the cocktail, the more you're going to allow these more complex flavors to carry through. You're still going to get that kind of grassy flavor. For me, I got maybe like a little tingle of pepper on the palate as well. All that's going to carry through a little bit more if you just keep it really simple. But who am I to say? I mean, get a bottle on a Friday night, do whatever you want, have a bit of fun with it, put some fruit in it. Why not? Bit of fresh fruit, absolutely.
Well, I guess keeping it simple allows the rum to really shine through, and yeah, in this particular case, it really does. And yeah, I mean, I'm really super excited that the fact that they use pure canopy water as well. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think there's any other rums or any other drinks in the world that could probably boast that as well, or at least not the ones that are actually out in the wild in the market.
Yeah, at least I've not heard of any. I'd be keen to try them though, and see what it's like. I wonder what the science is behind it. I can't go that far with it. I must confess, but I'd love to know the difference. Maybe it's something to do with the surface tension of the water, something like that. If it's untreated canopy water, maybe there's some mineral in there. I don't know, but what the resulting product just from those three ingredients is incredibly complex and very Moorish.
It's delicious. So they take, I'm assuming they take the white rum that we've just sampled, and then they put that same distillate into bourbon barrels to make the barrel rested rum.
So I believe the barrel rested, so that oh, it's got the bottle. So that is this one.
Yep.
So I believe that is the same, yeah. Although I'm not sure if they do run it twice through the pot. I'd have to see. I think that's about right though. And it's, yeah, as I say, ex-bourbon barrels, and it's just absolutely wonderful.
Right. Well, let's crack it and let's see. Let's have a little taste of this one. And do you know how long it's rested in these barrels for?
I've not been told by Waluko.
Trade secrets. That's what I like.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got no age statement, so it's gonna vary slightly.
Yeah. So it's always going to be created for taste and flavor profile. So I'd imagine a lot of different sort of like ages, and then you can just blend those barrels to make it the profile that they want. But and how is this going to differ before I taste it and smell it in flavor and profile to the white rum?
So you're going to get a lot more vanilla on the nose. The wood's going to carry through. It's quite prominent. The oak, maybe a little bit of leather, maybe a bit of tobacco, and then on the palate, it's going to be quite spice forward. Personally, I get a bit of cinnamon, maybe some nutmeg. The vanilla carries all the way through to the finish, but then just the fruity undertone from the white rum before it's been aged kind of still carries through.
It's definitely really fruity on the nose, and I still get that grassy kind of element that you can detect really well in the white rum, and that a little bit of citrus, but again a little bit complexity, a little bit more coffee coming through as well, and a bit of vanilla, I guess, as well from the barrels as well.
Absolutely. Oh, just to correct myself a minute ago, just because we're on record, it is double distilled, but just in the pot. So that's a mistake on the presentation. I confused myself a little bit, so I apologize.
We'll fix that in the edit. Just double distilled in the pot, but not in the column. So those bigger, richer kind of flavors as well.
Absolutely. To me, it's like when I received a bottle just to sample with customers, I'd swap out my evening whiskey for a barrel rested Copalli, and I just think it's absolutely lovely just to sip on its own.
Yeah, definitely.
Just like whiskey,
yeah, it just works really well, and a slightly higher alcoholic strength on this one than the white rum as well, just a couple of degrees.
44%, just giving it a little bit more of a tingle, a little bit more of that peppery spice maybe. But all that being said, it is delicious to sit neat. Put it in an old fashioned.
That would work really well. And for the viewers, a quick old fashioned recipe.
I do a quick one you can do at home. I mean, if you've ever been to a bar and it's taken about 12 minutes, then that's incorrect in my opinion. An old fashioned, it can take a couple of minutes. It's so easy. If you have some Angostura bitters at home, that's perfect. If not, it's not the end of the world. But Angostura bitters are going to add a little bit more flavour. So I do a couple of dashes of Angostura bitters, 2 shots of the rum, and then sugar to taste. I say tentatively, maybe just a level teaspoon of caster sugar, and just stir it until the sugar's dissolved. But I'd stir it over a couple of cubes of ice as well, just to add a little bit of dilution. That's it. If you've got a glacé cherry, garnish it with that. If you don't have a glacé cherry, orange twist. If you don't have either, just drink it. It's fine.
Yes. Yeah, fantastic. Oh, that's an amazing recipe to give out as well, and I think that worked really well. And again, subbing the whiskey for barrel aged rested rum, something a little bit different as well. So surprise your guests, surprise people at home with that. But I think that would work perfectly in that kind of cocktail. Great vehicle for this rum. Absolutely, again, stunning.
Definitely. I mean, I keep hammering on about classic cocktails, but it'll do really well in the Sazerac in place of is the rye whiskey. Oh God, I'm putting myself on the spot needlessly now. And you could make the rum equivalent of a Manhattan with it very easily. Call it an El Presidente. So just rum, a little bit of 2 shots of rum, maybe half a measure of sweet. You could do a full measure of sweet vermouth. I really like Astley Brothers vermouth. From England. Stir that down just over some ice. Again, garnish if you've got one. Glacé cherry preferably. If you've not got a garnish, just drink it.
Fantastic. Wow, that's incredible. This is a really good rum and really versatile as well from the recipes that you've just given us as well, which is great. And then on to our last rum
Yeah.
of this evening, last but by no means least. I'm really excited about this because cacao, which is the last one here.
Right. So it's a 3,000 acre farm, as I said. They grow heirloom sugarcane on there. They're currently using red sugarcane. They will be doing. I believe they'll be making a short term limited edition bottling of black sugarcane as well, which is going to yield a completely different flavor profile. Not even the distillers can say for sure what kind of flavor it's going to yield, but I'm looking forward to that. But on the cacao, so on as well as the sugarcane, they grow organic cacao nibs.
Yeah.
And so the white rum, they redistill that in a pot after they've infused it with the cacao nibs from the estate.
Mm-hmm.
And they infuse that for a good few weeks, maybe a couple of months.
Wow, I've just
it's so
from the bottle.
so cool, but it's one of my favorite things in the range. But like the Indie Brands portfolio, full stop. I just think it's awesome.
Wow, and you can like immediately just nosing this, and it's so distinctive. And I've been to tastings before where you compare like rum and chocolate at the same time, and they are such great things to have. You can taste the rum, you can taste the chocolate, and they work really well. But having this like a natural cacao nib product in and then infused into this really brings it out. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah. So for a preemptive suggested serve is what I did last year. So bonfire night, take it out, watch a display, and put it in a hip flask, and you'll have a good night. That's the first suggested serve.
Wow. Yeah,
hip
definitely.
Flask, bonfire night. Other suggested serve though. So Negroni. I was going to say the obvious one for me is an espresso martini. So espresso, coffee liqueur, little bit of sugar if you have that, and then obviously the Copalli cacao. But a sideball, a curveball would be the Negroni. So in place of gin, you still got your sweet vermouth and your Campari, and oh my god, it's a stroke of genius. It's not me that did that. There's a bar in Sheffield called the Dead Donkey, and Ed, the owner, he put a special on a Copalli Cacao Negroni, and it is stunning. So wow. That's a good shout. So single shot of Copalli, single shot of Campari, single shot of sweet vermouth, and then garnish if you've got it. Maybe some cacao nibs or just a little bit of dark chocolate grated.
Oh, fantastic. Do you know, I would have never have thought of adding this into a Negroni. You're giving away the trade secrets there. I think. The keys. I have got to go try this in a Negroni. I think that would be incredible. That chocolate coming in and making it a little bit richer and warming up the bitters as well. I think that's fantastic as well. And maybe you could have this, there's a little trend for having in the winter, like warmer sort of style of drinks, warmer cocktails. Would it work in something like that as well?
Absolutely. You could just put it in your coffee with a little bit of a sweetener, maybe some honey, something like that. You could just have it in a coffee or in a hot chocolate. It's an obvious one. It's going to be kind of like a hot chocolate on steroids. That would be a powerful one. Loads you can do. Put it in an Irish coffee just to fortify it a bit more instead of Irish coffee, whiskey. Whiskey coffee topped with cream. So Copalli in your Irish coffee, absolutely amazing.
Wow. Well, this is absolutely stunning. And I think this is a complete revelation. I mean, we've moved from the white rum, which is that amazing grassy, that complete base line, I think, for the Copalli range, onto the barrel rested, which, has that versatility, that richness, and where you can, you can swap out whiskey and cocktails for that. It's got that power as well as the complexity too. But again, this is something else. This is something completely different, and it's like a drink that I've really not encountered before. I've encountered a lot of drinks, and this is something brand new and very exciting for me. So I'm super pleased that we've had the opportunity to drink this and try this on this episode. Absolutely incredible, and such amazing ideas. Ben, is there anything else that you want to add about the Copalli story, or anything else we can add to them?
Yeah, very briefly. Now the fun bit's done, but very, very briefly, with Copalli, sustainability kind of is their jam. As I said earlier, it's a much larger estate than just the distillery and the farm, and most of that is kept for conservation purposes. So they aim to be they're designed to be a zero impact distillery. So any byproducts of production are just put to good use. Nothing gets wasted. So driven by the zero waste policy, after they extract the sugarcane juice, they recycle the leftover stalks of the sugarcane and use them to fuel the distillery. Mm-hmm. So nothing gets wasted. And by regenerative, that's right, isn't it? Harvesting. It's been a long day. So they carefully cut the sugarcane, so it basically regenerates, it grows back rather than having to destroy the field, and it take much longer to grow the sugarcane back. They just cut it, and then by the next season it's ready to go again. So sustainability is their jam. There's loads about it on the website. I'd encourage anyone to have a look. Get yourself a Copalli, make yourself a chocolate Negroni, and go and have a look into it, because they're very passionate guys. And who knows, maybe we'll be drinking Copalli in the jungle with Waluko one day. That could be fun.
Okay, I'm going to hold you to that, Ben. That sounds great. Well, thanks ever so much for joining us on this episode and bringing Copalli to us. I am absolutely bowled over by this cacao. Absolutely incredible rum, absolutely incredible drink. I think it really defies most other sort of white rum genres that I've seen, and especially in a world of rum where there is, a lot of them have a lot of sugar, a lot of them are super sort of like sweet. Having something that's fresh and delicate and balanced like this is like an amazing drink to really get your teeth around and really get down. This, I'm going to do that bonfire night in my little hot chocolate. I think this is an absolute winner. Thanks, Ben. Thanks for joining us. Copalli, what's great? You've got an organic, single estate craft rum, really into sustainability, so you can drink, have a fun time, but at the same time you're doing good for the environment and doing good for the world as well, which is kind of like really relevant at the moment and going forward as well. So thanks. I'm going to wrap this up. Ben, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for joining us on this presentation. If you're watching this, you've enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button. If you want to explore more in our series and episodes of our Little Stanmore Boss Micro Tastings, exploring the world of new releases, exciting products just like this, then hit that subscribe button and ring that little notification bell that's on the screen on there on YouTube, and that will tell you when the next episodes are coming in. We're going to be planning to do a few more little episodes coming into the new year and to 2022. But from us, from myself, Jeff Boss here at Stanmore Boss, and from Ben here from Indie Brands representing Copalli this evening, thanks ever so much, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Cheers.